Welcome, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome. This is your host with the most essential dose, and welcome to my brand new channel, my gaming channel, Essential Dose Gaming. If you guys have not checked out my main channel yet, I'll put a link in the description below. Make sure you subscribe. And without further ado, let's get right into this video. Today in this video, I'm going to be reacting to a video made by these guys named Top5Gaming. We're going to be reacting to a Fortnite Chapter 2 storyline breakdown, and these guys did a pretty good job of kind of like uncovering the secrets of the storyline and kind of like unraveling everything that's been happening in the background while we've been playing the game. Yeah, so let's just hop right into it.
You think that nothing has been happening in Fortnite since Chapter 2 release.
I'm gonna stop it right here. First of all, yes, nothing really has been happening in Fortnite since Chapter 2 release. Let's be honest about that. You know, Epic left us staring at a black hole for 2 days, and after we came back, they just decided to cut off any sort of connection with us. Communication, I said connection. Any sort of communication with us, and just like, it's been like that this entire season. But let's hear them out. Let's see what they're saying. What are they talking about?
But while you've been grinding out challenges, we've deciphered the most incredible hidden secrets in Fortnite that no one's noticed.
Speaking of challenges, this whole new leveling up system in Chapter 2 and having like a level cap at 1,000, there's gotta be some sort of reward system included with it, because I feel like I'm just leveling up for no reason at this point. But that's besides the point. Let's get back into the video. I'm gonna try not to pause too much.
Ultimate war between good and evil at the end of this season. An army of sludges with a secret villain overlord conspiring to reopen the 0 point from the end event that could blow us all up. We know everything now. Watch to the end as we need all.
I love it how they say we know everything now. Like they've been expecting this
to my partner Tommy
for a very long time. They've been trying to gather. They've been gathering evidence for a long time.
Thanks, Sam. In order to understand everything that's going on, we have to go all the way back to where the story began. The end of Chapter 1. Unfortunately, the result of this was the entire Fortnite island being sucked out of existence, and we were left staring at a black hole for 2 entire days. However, more was happening during this period than you think, as random numbers appeared every few hours, and eventually some text began appearing. This text is essential to the storyline of Chapter 2. Basically, contained the 0 point, something unusual was happening. Its power was being used somewhere else. They had to stop it, so immediately the visitors sent a select team to where the 0 point was being used. Introducing what we know as Team Ego, which consists of Chapter 2 skins. You have Journey,
I feel like this season has had some cooler skins ever
Remedy,
too.
and Outcast, who went to this new island to check out what was happening.
I really enjoyed
the crash plane you see on the map belongs to Ego, and we assume it crashed rather than landed because the plane came from another dimension, aka one of the 7 Fortnite islands. Still fall?
I don't think anybody else has come up with that concept except for them. This is the first time I've ever heard that. The concept of there being 7 different dimensions and each one having one of, obviously the 7 visitors having, their own little dimensions. I think that's a cool little concept. I don't know if it's real. I don't know if that's the way Fortnite has planned it. I don't know if that's the actuality. But as a theory, it makes sense. I mean, there's 7 of them. They have to be from different dimensions with different alternate realities. So it does make sense. So far, so good with this video. I'm enjoying the concepts. I'm enjoying the theories they're coming up with.
Following, this is the beginning of Chapter 2, and it's what you effectively see in the
launch
trailer for the
season.
Yet. We'll come back to this later, but we now need to explore what happens now that Chapter 2 has begun and where it leads us to today. Just like me, I'm sure you guys probably haven't been paying that much attention to the Fortnite Chapter 2 storyline because it's been revealed exclusively through loading screens, subtle locations on the map, and Battle Pass skins. But we've cracked it. Let's talk about what has happened in the Fortnite story ever since Chapter 2 began, and Ego appeared on the island, just exploring and having fun after the huge fallout of the end event. However, unknown to everyone, there is something else happening in the shadows. A criminal organization is lurking in the darkness, and as seen in the Week 3 loading screen, they are selling weapons and other munitions to bad guys. This organization is called Alter, and they've been doing a lot in the shadows while we were having fun on the map. A small shack on the island can be found near Slurpy Swamp, and inside you will discover a chair, an empty open coffin, and a tub of slurp juice. As we all quickly discovered during Chapter 2, Slurp Juice heals anyone who touches it.
Yes, it does.
Alter,
It'll give
the
you
criminal
health and
organization, has been experimenting with this and brought someone back to life using Slurp Juice. This person is none other than Big Chuggus, as seen by the Batman Bane-inspired Slurp Juice mask he uses to keep himself alive. Some old POIs, but also a different layout and characters. Because of this, some characters have alternate versions of themselves as they have come from Chapter 1 and landed in Chapter 2's map. The best example of this is the Vex and Zev skins. These two are the exact same person from different dimensions caused by the black hole at the end of Chapter 1.
Awkward place to pause it, but you guys want to know what the funny thing is? I never knew that they were two different people until now. That's crazy to me. Because I remember doing the challenges for the tier 100 skin, yeah, but I still don't even know what the name is for the tier 100 skin, but I just didn't know that they were two different people. That's interesting.
One's good, however, and one's evil. You could tell by the fusion challenges because Zev is supposed to save a teammate while Vex is there to yeet and eliminate an enemy. It's important that you know that they're exact opposites, almost like they're alter egos?
Really?
Alter, the evil organization, discovered Vex and Zev and began to do tests on them using the energy from the 0 point. These tests resulted in the two being fused together and it became the level 100 Battle Pass skin, Fusion.
They were using the energy from the 0 point to fuel their little fusion experiment, which is why we have this skin called Fusion, which in reality are two separate people fused together. This some Dragon Ball Z shit right here, bro. They out here. At least in Dragon Ball, they do it naturally. Over here, they gotta use fucking energy and shit to fuse people together. That's crazy. But let's keep watching.
Is the 0 point, as it was used to create him. This creation of Fusion is what caused the 7 visitors to notice strange activity on the Chapter 2 map and send Ego, the special team that crashed in the plane, down there, but it had risks. Because Ego are from one of the other 7 islands, the Chapter 2 map has the alternate dimension versions of each Ego member. These alternate versions are the members of Alter. So basically, in the Chapter 2 dimension, Alter is an evil version of Ego, which means Ego is going to be fighting alternate versions of themselves, which is the whole theme of Chapter 2.
True.
Alter Egos. That's pretty much the entire premise of Chapter. Now that I've kind of explained it, what happens after Ego comes to the Chapter 2 island, which has evil versions of themselves on it to investigate the 0 point? Let me explain everything. You need to know this. While Ego sets up camp and builds barriers,
I love how hyped they are
around the map, a new
sharing
hero
their
emerges
evidence
from Slurpy Swamp. From the waters, we are introduced to Ripley. We already know that Alter has an army of similar creatures called sludges. Our theory is that Ripley was one of the soldiers inside Alter's massive army of sludges, although one day Ripley was accidentally transformed by the magical Slurpy Swamp and became both blue and free from the rule of Alter. It's unclear if the...
So Slurpy Swamp seems to have a huge impact on their theory, in a sense where it brought Big Chuggus back to life, and at the same it didn't bring him to, it brought him to life, and that's how he kind of functions. And at the same time, it turned Ripley good. He was an evil version of he was part of the Sludge Army, but I don't know, somehow, maybe they'll explain it throughout the video, he got into the swamp and he was able to become good and then join the the Ego.
The swamp itself turned him into a good guy, but he decides to go into hiding under fear of being experimented on by Alter or even being eliminated. While this is happening, Ego has finally set up camp and begins to investigate what is happening on the Chapter 2 island in the shadows. The week 4 loading screen shows us that the team quickly discovered that they have alternate versions of...
Let's keep watching.
Who is the evil version of 8-Ball, an Ego member. 8-Ball realizes what he has to do, and he sets off in search of Scratch. Now, Ego has learned of Alter's existence. They need to learn more. While 8-Ball goes after his evil counterpart, Ego sends Cameo to go investigate Frenzy Farm as there is a large Alter presence there. This is where Cameo eventually discovers a cowering Ripley by accident, who is hiding from the enemy soldiers. Cameo helps sneak Ripley out of Frenzy Farm, but is eventually spotted and a chase begins. This can all be seen in the Hunter and the Hunted loading screen from week 5. At the same time, 8-Ball finally finds Scratch in Weeping Woods, and it seems that the only choice they have is to fight each other. We haven't yet learned who wins the fight between the two, but some major clues come later on in the season. Back to Ripley and Cameo, who are now running from Alter. They get back up from the rest of Ego and work together to save Ripley from being captured by the bad guys. As a result, Ripley now joins Ego. We don't see 8-Ball again after the fight, but Scratch in-game begins to develop some sort of virus or corruption. Once a player...
Yeah, so speaking of this, so this is why I think I mentioned earlier, if I haven't, but this season has been very slow in terms of its progression, in terms of storyline, any sort of content updates. It's been very slow, and I will explain it in a future video why that is and their reasoning. But it wasn't until about, like, I want to say 2-3 weeks ago that the corrupt version of Scratch was accessible to all players, and they're gonna explain it here, I think, how you get it. But I could tell you right now is the more you use the Scratch skin, the more corrupt it becomes. I think they're gonna say that, but everybody's been known that.
Player hits level 100, some damage is done to Scratch, and as the level gets higher, he eventually becomes more and more corrupted.
I don't know if it's level based or if it's use based.
And it's not an extra style, it's permanent. Our theory as to why Scratch is the only skin to have this is that he beat 8-Ball in the fight, but because he touched a version of himself from an alternate universe, he has begun to disappear. Scratch winning the fight...
Okay, so again, I will talk about this in a future video and give my theory on it based on this theory and based on other people's theories. I kind of want to give like my own version of it, so make sure you watch out for that video. It's coming out soon. I'm gonna probably record it after this one. But if you look at it from this perspective, right, it's not like you're time traveling. So if you time travel and you go back in time and you interact with a past version of yourself, it really has... It will cause a domino effect. It will have a huge effect on how things are going to go down. So you really can't, because you can't, it's like the butterfly effect. Basically, it's going to be a butterfly effect. But if you're dealing with a version of yourself from an alternate reality, you're not dealing with time. You're talking about dimension travels, or you know what I mean. So you're traveling between two different dimensions. So if you interact with them, I don't think that's the reason why they would be... I don't think Scratch and 8-Ball interacting with each other or them touching each other is the reason why he became corrupt. If you guys want to find out what I think the real reason is, again, make sure you guys click the subscribe button, leave a like, leave a comment, and then leave some of your theories down there too as well, because we're going to watch the rest of this video. But if you have anything so far that you've come up with, or any mistakes you think they've made, so far I think it's been solid. Here and there's a few minor details that they could tweak, but so far they've really done a great job.
Explains why this corruption has not happened to 8-Ball, at least yet. At this point, however, nothing is really known about Alter or what it plans to do next. Well, that was until the latest loading screen revealed, and the massive bombshell was dropped. The leader of the secret organization is revealed, and it's Chaos Agent, a figure who has lurked in the shadows. And
again, that's what I was saying. I don't know how we didn't pick this up, because if you look at his mask, that is exactly what he uses for the Alter logo. And it's not like it's something crazy, and we're all just like acting like, oh shoot, you know what I mean? And that just blew my mind. Like, it took us that long to realize that.
Essentially the puppet master of the entirety of Alter. Chaos Agent doesn't have a good version of himself, which means he's not an evil version of someone from Ego. He might be the reason why in the Chapter 2 universe the Ego members are evil instead of good, because he recruited them. Now we know Chaos Agent is the ringleader, as the Alter logo is, well, his face, and I'm not sure why we didn't guess it all along.
That's what I'm saying! It's exactly where I don't know why we didn't guess it.
In his super evil lair, and they reveal what he plans to do next. One theory suggests that this takes place inside the redacted location on the map, and that's backed up by the CCTV camera of the door on the screen.
By the way, if you guys want to wonder where that location is, I think it's south of Retail Row, and it's somewhere in that area. I don't know where exactly, I can't pinpoint it, but like it's south of Retail Row, and you'll see it. It's just a little like, it looks like a tiny little hill going downwards, and then you'll see like this little bunker area. Check it out. You can't really break into it, but it's gonna have a major impact on the storyline. Hold on, it really got dark in here. I'm gonna turn on the lights real quick. Alright, and there we go. That's a little bit better. I just had to kind of adjust the lighting a little bit. And yeah, let's get back into it.
If you don't know what the redacted location is, it's pretty much the big secret vault. Let's break down what's here because it's incredibly important to what happens next. On the top left screen, we can see Big Chuggus, which proves he was the test subject brought back to life as...
Again, I have a theory about this, and I will give a little bit of hint, and I'm going to say, I don't think that's Big Chuggus.
Slurpy Swamp. Below it is a monitor showcasing the giant army of sludges that Alter is building. At the far right screen is an X-ray analyzing Scratch and his new corrupted DNA. We think that this is Chaos Agent trying to learn why Scratch has become corrupted in the first place after fighting 8-Ball. It is absolutely
I'm skeptical about that one too. They're doing very well.
Because of this, Chaos Agent has no choice but to create a plan to save his soldiers from being wiped out by Ego. He is going to replicate what he did with Fusion in order to fuse both the Ego members and their evil versions together to create powerful Alter agents. But he can't use the 0 point as it's unstable, and Fusion was a failure. So he decides he's gonna use the power from Kevin the Cube, who Chaos Agent is inspecting on one of the other screens. That seems to be Alter's plan in Chapter 2, to fuse both versions of everyone together to both save his soldiers and create an all-powerful army that can take control of the unstable 0 point. Because Chaos Agent was not in the Chapter 1 universe, he has no idea of what kind of power the 0 point has and how much destruction it created on the original island. Because of this, Ego has to stop him before it's too late. However, Alter is creating a very large army, not only of sludges, but fusion humans, and their collection is growing quickly, are not an accident or natural at all. If you look on the map,
yeah, those snowstorms were terrible.
At the position of the redacted evil layer, you'll notice that it's on the exact same mountain as the weather station.
Yeah, it's on the big mountain.
That combined with the fact that Chaos Agent was tracking the weather implies that he is the one causing the snowstorms, either accidentally through his experiments or on purpose in order to just...
Alright, I'm gonna stop it right here. Here's the thing. Their theory was solid. I fully, like, some of the stuff they said, I never even thought of. Like the whole Vex and Zev situation and how they got fused together using the energy from the 0 point blew my mind. The whole concept of them being like, okay, well, the whole thing of them saying like, okay, well, that's not just them being fused. Now, since the Alter leader, the Chaos Agent, has figured out that that was a success, he's not going to try to replicate that with his other hero, with his other villains, those little, whatchamacallit, those, the Alters. He's going to try to fuse the Alters and the Egos, put them together, putting the words together, Alter Ego, haha, wordplay, whatever. But yeah, so it's very interesting. But there's still some stuff that I don't fully agree with, and that they mention at the end of the video here. I'm going to talk about about it later on. Again, I said before, if you guys want to hear my theory about this, check out the link in the description below. To subscribe to my main channel, subscribe to this channel, because that's where the next video, me talking about my theory about where the storyline is going to be. Make sure you leave a like, comment, and hope you guys have a good day. Goodbye, goodbye.